What's good, y'all? So I'm not even gonna lie. This video was like 99.9934785% for me. Okay? This is one of those videos where I have conquered a huge obstacle in my life by performing what we call shadow work that I and many others of us are talking about here in the YouTube community, spiritual community, conscious community, whatever. You know, this is the importance of shadow work, because when you overcome this and you drop off that dense ass lead weight that you've been carrying around with you, you could just fly. And when you feel so proud of yourself, you want everyone to know about how that super awesome thing that you just did. You know, like I'm right now, I feel like I'm on the rooftops just screaming out, I did it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to share with y'all in this video. So this video might end up getting kind of long. It might be kind of short. I don't know. But I just want to give you all that preface before I just get into my world and I just start reflecting on camera. All right. With that being said, recently I've been working with the angels a lot more. And specifically, I've been working with Metatron. And one of the things that I've noticed was, once again, I've talked about this in previous videos, where it just feels like my life is feeling like it's getting back on track. It feels like I'm fulfilling my purpose more and more and more each day. You know, but not even with the things that I go out there and do, but with the things that I do just by me existing. I'm constantly being placed more and more in situations that would make me more powerful, make me stronger, motivate me, give me something else to think about, give me another tool that I need in order to get to the next level. But we can move forward as much as we want, but a lot of us don't realize that we're just carrying bags and bags and bags. We're goddamn looking like Santa Claus, you know, out here with this big ass sack of baggage, of stuff, of negative emotions that are holding us back. And a lot of us have negative thought forms that have just been festering in our minds for years. You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, I told y'all one of my shadow work sessions, if you will, I realized that I fell in love with a painting that my mom had on her wall, this super elegant, melanated woman. And don't get me wrong, she looked like my mom with the widow's peak and everything. You know what I'm saying? But like, I fell in love with a picture when I was a kid. You know, and then that picture in my mind stayed, which is why, like, I always felt like, yo, why can't I find anyone that I'm even like really attracted to like that? Oh. Because I'm trying to make real life women fit into this persona of a skinny woman that's all elegant. Oh yes, blah, blah. And she was quite literally on a pedestal. I wonder where like the simp thoughts and the blue pill thoughts came from. But that's not what I wanted to focus on. I just wanted to give y'all, like, you know, how deep with the vibes that we're rolling with here. But recently, you know, with these negative thought forms, like, you know, some of them could be in your mind for years and years and years. And it's been so long that, you know, that traumatic event happened, or it's been so long since you've had that experience that you don't think that has any power over you anymore. No, you never dealt with it. So why would it feel the need to go away? That's what the importance of shadow work. You come face to face with the big boss that's in your mind. You know, the boss battles, the big demons that you have to fight. You know, whatever words you choose to use to represent the bad side, the low side, the negative side of yourself. You know, so for me personally, I came face to face with college itself. And I've always beaten around the bush about what school I went to, but this is the purpose of shadow work. I'm releasing all of that. I'm releasing all of this right now because, you know, I still wanted to play the corporate America game. You have to be able to utilize your resources and all that type of stuff. And even though I went through so much, I didn't want to speak negatively about the name because I still have to maintain a public image. You know, so someone that's an alumni sees my thing and then, oh, well, you spoke negatively about our school. Well, yeah, I had negative experience, but I learned a lot. And that's what we're going to get into right now. See, I was about to get started, but let me get back. So I'm ready to go. So I went to Penn State. Right? That's what college I went to. The only reason, let's start off with the very beginning. The only reason I went to Penn State is because as a high schooler, I was given the very daunting task of picking what I planned on doing for the rest of my life. At 16 years old, when I still need my parents' permission to go outside the house, when I still have to raise my hand in order to go to the bathroom in class, I'm given the huge task of deciding what I want to do with the rest of my life. First of all, does that sound like a decision that a child should be making? You see what I'm saying? Secondly, once again, I was a child, 16-something years old, senior year of high school, you know, 16, 17, whatever year. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like I only chose Penn State because number one, I only knew that I only knew engineering. So engineering is a thing that makes a lot of money. I'm going to be an engineer. And then, I want to beat everyone in my class. I want to go to the best school. I don't want to go to these local schools. I don't want to go anywhere right here. Nah, I'm going somewhere different. Yeah. So I did my applications in the schools, like in my state. But then I was just like, yo, but that Penn State thing, man, like if I get that when I'm in there, you know what I'm saying? Eventually I got that letter saying, hey, you're going to Penn State. We were all proud. We were all this and that. I was like, yes. I got into the school that I wanted to, blah, 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 blah. Cool. My first year in college was a severe, it was a culture shock that I wasn't ready for. Weirdly enough, my culture shock was the indeed lack of culture. I mean, I know every area has its own culture, but let me vent. It was the lack of culture that I wasn't ready for as a kid. Mind you, 17, 18 years old at this point, I was still a kid. We were still children at that age. Don't let you're a legal adult now at 18 fool you. You are a child. That's political, but we're not going to get into that in this video. So when my freshman year was when I learned that not everything is as advertised, right? When you think of college, you think of the quad, you think of the grass, you think of the people throwing frisbees, you think of the parties, you think of the girls that's flashing their titties at you. You think of, I don't know what the girls be looking for. You think of men that are attractive to which you would like to do nefarious things with, just to put it like that. I don't know what y'all into, but nevertheless, it's like, that's what you just think of college. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of books, a lot of studying, a lot of partying, a lot of fun, a lot of friendships, all this good shit. But the funny thing is, the same way in all of my other videos, I say, don't focus so much on the bad things. Sometimes my realization is sometimes, you can't get too focused on all of the good things either. Don't be so high and mighty that you're no earthly good. Don't be paying attention to all the fun things and all the great things about something, whether that's an experience, whether that's college, whether that's a person. Don't be so focused on the good traits that you're ignoring all the bad. But, the reason why I'm in such balance right now is because there was a time where I began to focus on nothing but the bad. That's why I focus again by saying, don't focus on the bad, don't focus on the good. See things as they are. Don't just focus on the things that you like or dislike. Focus on things as they are. But at this point in my life, I was focused on the negative aspects of things. Don't get me wrong. I toured the campus, beforehand. They told us upright that, your first 2 years or your first 2 years are more than likely going to be at this branch campus. And then you can go to another one. You can go to the main campus, the stereotypical college experience, right? So I was like, okay, cool, no big deal. That was nothing. College is gonna be fun as hell. Anyway, I'm just gonna go party it up somewhere else, right? I'm a party here for a couple years, then I'm gonna head on out. But I quickly realized that, I didn't understand the importance of geography, aka just knowing your surroundings, knowing your location. What are you getting into? Now, I am a black man in the mountains of Pennsylvania. Okay, this is quite literally in Schuylkill, Penn State, Schuylkill. The nearby area is literally referred to as coal country. One of the things that they say is, how are yous guys? That's one of the things that they say. The simple stuff like that. But I emphasize, we're up there in the mountains and coal country because there's not a lot of black people out there. There was a time where, and this wasn't even a personal experience, but a friend of mine, she got pulled over and called a nigger by a whole bunch of people in their truck, and they skirted off. They saw her walking by herself like a dumbass. Like, why are you walking by yourself out here, sweetheart? Like, I would have gone with you. You could wake me up and I'm going to walk with you. But anyway, it's just but she got called a nigger and they drove off. They drove off. But that's just the environment that we were in. That's the place that we were in. But not even just the white people. It was my own too that I wasn't ready for, because it just seemed like I was in the middle of both extremes. The hicks, the racist ass hick dudes, and then the hood rat ghetto dudes, from the tri-state, the New York, New Jersey, and Philly. That's why I always joke the Philly people so much, because I'm like, yo, I've been around at least your young people. Y'all some weirdos. But don't get me wrong, I have a different respect for y'all now. I've grown up since then. But nevertheless, I still like to give y'all a little jab every once in a while. But nevertheless, it's I wasn't ready for this. I've never been around these types of people before. But then also too, I'm coming from high school. Now, to be fair, I was the kid that wore shorts all winter. But in Virginia, I wore shorts all senior year. just because my dad said, I bet you can't, and I said, say less. That's really the only reason. But I tried to carry that up in Pennsylvania where it's negative some degrees, it's always snowing, and I still pulled it off, and people were looking at me like I was crazy. Now, nowadays, if you look at me like that, oh yeah, I'm doing something different. You ain't seen nothing like this. But back in the day, though, I was like, wait, why are you guys looking at me like that? Wait, what's going on? Because mind you, I'm in the tri-state, I'm dealing with the tri-state area, and I'm dealing with the hicks up in the mountains of Pennsylvania, and I'm still wearing all this bright neon stuff. I'm wearing a whole bunch of outfits that don't quite make sense, but they work for me. But that same energy that worked in high school ain't gonna work here. That's a level of adaptation that I wasn't ready for, right? Fast forward a little bit, senior year. Or not senior year, what am I saying? No, I'm skipping a little too far ahead. Thinking about my classes, and I don't know where senior came from with that. But anyway, but my classes, freshman year still, we're getting this back in scope. Freshman year, I hadn't learned how to study yet, right? I hadn't learned how to study because high school was so simple for me. I never studied in high school, so why would I study here? Everything is simple. Just answer the questions and give them the answer that they want to hear. Until you realize that these teachers are very fond of fill in the blank answers. Show your work. There is no multiple choice here. I mean, in all the classes, you know what I'm saying? The funny thing is, and I'm gonna mix a little bit of this in here, like what I've learned from the opportunities, and I'm gonna call it an opportunity now, from the experiences that I had at Penn State, was I learned white people. Now, some people are going to be, whoa, where's he going with this? Let me give you all a quick preface real quick. I still kind of live under the philosophy from Dick Gregory, where he said a lot of you so-called white people out here are not white. You're Caucasian. White is a mindset. White is like, having the power to form the realities of other peoples around what you believe, aka the elites. The so-called elites are white. You are Caucasian. I am black, melanated, carbonated, African-American, whatever. You are Asian. You are blah, blah, blah. Nah, see, those are our ethnicities. White is a mindset, and not white as in white people. White as in just what you think is pure. It's like it's based off of a lie. Everything that we've been taught in our world is a lie. That's one of the big lessons I got from college. White is that. No. White is a mindset when you look at it from that perspective. Anyway, don't get too thrown off by that. There's a lot of racial feelings that were coming from these stories anyway, so forgive me if I fall back. But anyway, it's like I learned how white people moved. I learned how the big organizations move. I learned how the legacy money moved. Speaking of legacy, I learned how, if you were in a certain fraternity or something, your life was easy street on this campus. I learned the inner workings of how things worked, So a lot of you that are in more difficult / more popular majors, if you are, especially if you're in a big school such as Penn State, there's going to be this thing called weed out classes that they make them intentionally difficult so you drop it. And then once everybody drops, once you don't make the first cut, once everyone drops, then the teachers tend to be a lot more helpful. Do a lot more explaining to you about certain concepts. Right in the beginning, they're rushing through it because, half of y'all going to drop this anyway, so they're not going to put forth the most effort, In all actuality, since I've grown up, that makes sense, And let me finish my thought. So what they're going to do is they're going to make classes intentionally hard so you drop out. We'll drop out of the class. Some people drop out of college altogether, but nevertheless, they're called weed out classes. Do you really want this? Okay, then come through. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to sit through this class with us. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to get this information. Well, ain't nothing free, but you know what I'm saying. Now, I want to go ahead and get back to my point that I was about to make. You have to remember, young people in college, or, people looking back on your experiences in college, that these professors have been doing this for years and years and years, decades and decades. They know every excuse that you can think of. They've seen it all at this point. Okay, every once in a while you can come up with something different, but they've seen all of this already. They know everything that you're going to do. They know that you're going to make some type of excuse. They know that at the end of the quarter, they're going to start getting bombarded with emails and phone calls with people trying to salvage their grade at the end saying, what extra credit can I get? This is college, sweetheart. There is no extra credit in certain people's classes. Every professor is a little bit different, but in these classes that this is relevant to, there is no extra credit here. You got what you got. If you got, 60, if you got a 60 in the class, that means you put forth 60% work. Grow up. You know what I'm saying? grow the fuck up. That's a lesson that I learned from college. You know, that's why I look at the world right now. I just see a whole bunch of weakness. I see a whole bunch of victimization, because these people ain't ever had to work for nothing. These people ain't never had to, like, you know, overcome anything. A lot of these people live such comfortable lives and they don't even realize that. And they're born into comfort. Therefore, they don't appreciate what they have. So when you get the most minor inconvenience in your world, your whole body shuts down. Your whole mind shuts down. That's where these Karens come from, where they fake like they're hurt and just like sprawl out on the freaking floor. It's embarrassing to act like that when people just lose their minds because somebody said something to them. I don't like your shoes. What you say, bro? What you say? Yo, I just said I don't like your shoes. It's not my style. What the fuck you getting so mad for? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just see a whole bunch of, like, all that victimization. Oh, I can't make it because I'm a black man. The white man holding me down. We can't survive in this world because women are always being oppressed. No, the fuck you're not. It's like you just don't want it enough. And you want the world to, like, step back down to your level instead of you rising up to the next one. That's what I see. But anyway, let's keep on going. I realized, too, for the shadow work experience that, like, I learned why the dating world makes no sense to me. Because where I should have been young, wild, and free, where I should have been, like, planting my seeds of, like, becoming this nice, young, tall, dark, and handsome bachelor that I could be in my mind, it's like I spent that entire 4 years pretty much locked down in a long distance relationship. So I never got to flirt. I've never had a one night stand. I've never, like, you know, had sex with a woman and didn't give a shit about her afterwards. I don't know what that is. So with me being stuck in my ways, you know, starting in college, essentially, you know, I had a completely different upbringing when it comes to my views on women and my views of men as well. You know, I'm hypercritical of the way these little boys get down as well, too. You know, but the biggest thing is that I did see the low-key evil side of women in college. Do you know how much ass I could have gotten by being loyal to my long distance girlfriend? Let me repeat that again. Do you know how much ass I could have gotten by being loyal to my long distance girlfriend? This is where the first seed of women are backwards, little girls, are backwards in the way that they think about things. You know, because, wait, I'm loyal to my girlfriend. You are attracted to me because I am loyal to my girlfriend. But you want me to fuck you. With knowing that I have a girlfriend. Does that make sense, sweetheart? Now, don't get me wrong, though, because, like, I still had to live some type of college experience. I would play with the energies, you know what I'm saying? I would, like, you know, I would humor it, you know what I'm saying? You know, hey, you might get lucky one day, but until she stops doing what she's doing, hey, I'm holding it down. You know what I'm saying? But, like, that's just one of the things that, like, but I always remember that. I'm like, wait, huh? Y'all want what you can't have. Oh, fellas out there, understand that. You know, people in general, not just women, but, like, speaking from a male perspective, people want what they can't have. That's what they want most. You know what I'm saying? And if they can't have it, they'll destroy anyone that tries to achieve it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way it is. That's just the crabs in the barrel mentality. Crabs in the bucket, whatever. Anyway, so that was, like, another big thing. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, and this is where, like, the beginnings of, like, my Oliver persona started to arise. But he didn't come all the way out till sophomore year. You know, like, I started to get very infatuated with knives because I was, like, failing. I was failing with grades. I was failing socially. I was failing internally. It just felt like fail. And it got to the point where I just started becoming more and more angry, right? So with me becoming more and more angry, I started to form an affinity towards knives. Now, don't get me wrong, my dad's like a really big knife guy, so it's already in my blood. But I really started to get into them. Like, I'd be like, yo, if I hit someone right there with it, and then if I hit him with the right there in the back, and then hit him in the back of the kidney, that's where the dark blood is. So then that's where my thoughts started going. Once again, when your vibration is lower and lower and lower, you tune into things at that lower and lower vibration. This is when I started to become a lot more secluded, a lot more full of anxiety, a lot more on edge, a lot more paranoid, if you will. Because, segue into the following year, sophomore year. Sophomore year was by far my worst year in college. And that is the one that truly set me up into this dark persona of myself, to which I called Oliver, that I still call Oliver. I still believe that there's two versions of me. I just happen to name them. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has those different sides. I just named these two. It's just us now. There's no more of the little demon thing. And we'll talk about him maybe a little bit later. But nevertheless, no more of that. It's just us two. Sophomore year, I decided, you know what? I need a change of environment. You know, this is the same thing I always do. If I don't like where I'm at, if I don't like the way life is going, I go to a completely different environment and see if things work. So I transferred to Penn State Harrisburg, right? Now, there was really nothing. It was just like a continuation of the following, like the same failures and all that type of stuff from the last year. But this is the year that I hit my breaking point, okay? This was the year that I broke. Penn State broke me. But that is something like I'm extremely grateful for now, because ever since then, nothing has even pale in comparison towards what I went through at that point in my life. That's why I'm always like, hey, this shit ain't nothing. Like, sure, this shit sucks right now. Sure, I'm a little worried right now. Sure, I'm a little angry right now. Sure, I'm a little whatever right now, but I overcame that. And that's why I'm so thankful for the experience now. This is what happens when you grow and mature. Am I ever going to be flaunting and be like, yeah, I'm so happy I've gone here? No, but I'm going to utilize that tool whenever I need to. But anyway, we'll sum it up anyway. So sophomore year was where, things really the shit hit the fan for me. Okay. Let me set this year up. So I'm still consistent. I'm still in my relationship, but I'm starting to lean on her a little too much. This is just me doing a little bit of reflecting. I'm relying on her to make me feel better. Doesn't that sound borderline toxic? But not toxic in the way that I'm outwardly doing. It's just I needed somebody and I didn't know how. I felt so alone, and who else should I trust other than my partner, my girlfriend? I should be able to trust you. But I was beginning to notice that she was becoming more and more and more distant. And some of y'all already heard the story, but y'all can see where that led to eventually. But I was too focused on my own bullshit at the time, because this year was full of me starting to skip more and more classes. Me failing classes that I thought I was doing good in. I was just failure. I'm in a new place and it's just failure. And then I had these annoying ass roommates. I was roomed up, I was partnered up with freshmen for roommates for some reason. So I was a sophomore, already being an old soul, already having a year of bullshit I just put up with. So I was already battle hardened. I was reclusive, and I was already becoming more and more paranoid and angry. So when I get these loud, obnoxious, immature ass roommates, these freshmen that are ready to start off college with a bang and all this type of shit, I was like, yo, y'all do y'all thing. And I just stayed away. But then it got to a point where they started to get comfortable and they started to just say a whole bunch of stupid shit. And they had this there's this one story I'll share real quick. Very simple, nothing too crazy. But this is the first time where my true demon side really started to arise. And at this point, this happened near the middle of the year. And I remember I had just got done drinking with my friend, because I had a drinking buddy. Misery loves company. So I had a drinking buddy. And that's all we would do. Just drink, watch TV, watch YouTube videos, just kick it. But nevertheless, he served a purpose in my life. And weirdly enough, he's someone that's always maintained contact with me. I've gone through my whole phase and he's still here. That's a friend, a lifelong friend that I made from college. Shout out to Ray if you ever watch these videos. But one of the things that happened was we were having a drinking night, and I can't lie, I was toe up. You know what I'm saying? But his building was literally right across the street from mine, so I knew I could make it back. So I left his place, walked down the stairs, I opened up the door, and I started walking back home. And, a little stumbling, I'm walking back for oh shit, god damn. And then I busted my ass in this little drainage ditch that had about a couple of inches of water in it. I fell. And I just sat there for a minute. Water's seeping into my clothes and all this type of stuff. And I just sat there for a minute. And I was just this is life. This is what I signed up for. This amazing school. Oh my God, you go to Penn State? Oh my God. This is what people are so hyped up for. This is the experience that I'm existing right now. This is the conversation I had with myself sitting in an inch of water, toe up out of my mind. I walked back in, like, you know, I kind of wring my clothes out and put them back in so I'm not like dripping when I walk back into my apartment. But like I walked back in and it was my two of my roommates and their little female friend who annoyed the shit out of me. Like she reminded me of a fucking moose. But anyway, you know, like I walked in and I was like, yo, it was good. And they're like, yo, are you drunk? I'm like, yo, I'm fucked up right now. I'm just gonna go mind my business and bada bing, bada boom. He's like, oh, he probably gonna go talk to his girlfriend or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. It's like, do you not have a boyfriend? Don't be worried about me. You know, so and then she got smart with me and she was like, she said, what'd she say? Oh, but if we turn the Wi-Fi off in here, good luck contacting your little girl. I stood up and like I got back, like all the drunkenness just left my body. And I was like, watch your fucking mouth, because you don't fucking know me. All right, I've been nice with y'all, and y'all already stay away from me, because I know that y'all gonna say some stupid shit like that that's gonna make me wild out on you. So watch your fucking mouth and know your place. Leave me alone, especially when I'm in this state right now, because I don't fuck with y'all. Have a good one. And I closed the door. I could literally, and don't get me wrong, I was a little nosy after that, but like it was just silence after that. Silence. Because I had never spazzed on somebody like that before. But like, you don't disrespect me. I'm already in this crazy state, and you're gonna jeopardize me speaking to the woman that I love at this point in my life? Don't do that. Don't do that. You know, that's an easy way to bring that side out of me, especially at that point in time. Like, I'm just like, oh, word? Okay. But like, you know, at that point, I wasn't into my magic and nothing like that, so I just had to give them a little bit of a threat, and I just went and minded my business. I never had to deal with them after that. Then I guess word got around, and eventually I got cool with my other roommate that had a little bit more sense to the rest of them, and I started to hang out with him and his couple of female friends. You know, they became comfortable with me and all this type of stuff, and then we became like actually good friends in the last month of this shitty ass year. But backing up, I've told y'all about this, and I'm not gonna go too far into detail, but you know, I really had my first ever panic attack, my first ever anxiety attack. For those of you that have never had anxiety, imagine being in a room where you can't breathe and it's progressively getting darker and darker and darker. Little octopus tentacles are literally coming over your eyes to engulf you in the darkness while you are struggling to breathe, and you are in a full frenzy of panic. I got a 30 on an exam that I had to pass. That was going to be a pivotal point, and I studied my ass off for that test, and I got a 30. Because once again, I still hadn't learned how to study. I was trying to brute force my way through college. Like, okay, it'll work out, it'll balance it out, you know, whatever. When I got that 30, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? It was a 30. I still see it circled in red, 30. And I shit you not. I mean, it was like Charlie Brown. You know, the teacher was talking for the rest of the class, and I heard nothing. I sat through that class staring at that 30. I was just staring at it, just looking at it, and just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? And eventually I realized, though, like I when I started to saying, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, over and over and over, I was feeling this deep sorrow start to like rise up to the point that my eyes just started leaking. You know, it was just like my eyes just started leaking. But then as I really felt myself really about to just lose my fucking, I mean, pick up and throw chairs and stuff, I saw like new people coming out of the class. I had been sitting in that room by myself for an extended period of time. That another class was coming in. You see what I'm saying? Another class was coming in. So I was like, oh, gathered together, and I just like beelined it back home. I had more classes to go to. I just said, no, something's about to happen. And I got back in my room. My roommate was cooking some type of food, whatever. And I walked right by him into my room. I did not open that door for like 3 whole days. I had like the meanest panic attack of my life. Like I just kept crying and crying. Like I flipped my mattress over, put it up against my little dresser thing, and I was just wailing on it, just wailing. You know what I'm saying? And like I was just like, yo, like what is this? You know, like in the midst of like my fury, like I opened up my laptop, said, I'm transferring, I'm going somewhere else, I'm doing research on all these schools, I'm just in a frenzy. I cried for the first time with my parents on the phone. You know, I had never cried. All the stuff that I did was just private. I've always been like that. But like I broke on the phone with my parents, which made me break again. You see what I'm saying? To the point that my parents, my dad especially, thought that I was planning on hurting myself. Yo, you don't plan on hurting yourself, do you? You know, that's how deep it was. You know, junior and senior year, we can pretty much lump them together, you know, because this was significantly better. right? Junior and senior year were, kind of the upswing, to be quite honest with you. Don't get me wrong, I still had to deal with some things, and don't get me wrong, the thoughts of ending my life did pass my mind. You know what I'm saying? I had that bottle of Oxy, and I was about to just down the rest of them. I was about to down them and see what happens. Good luck. But I told y'all before, I heard my friends' voices. These people at that point I was willing to die for. Like I said, I heard their voices, I heard their laughter, and I was like, yo, I can't let them find me like that. No, I'm good. And I decided to just get rid of them. I dumped out the pills. You know what I'm saying? But some of the harder lessons that I got from junior and senior year, and we'll just lump them together, was like, I understood the level of ignorance that that Caucasian people live in, right? Like I look back and I was like, yo, is this the first time that you've ever met a black person, that you've been around black people? And then I was like, as I'm older now, it's like, wait, yes. This might have actually been their first time engaging with a black person. Wow. But because white people that, once again, I'm going back to those times, so forgive me if this sounds a little rough, but like white people only fuck with white people. You get on Call of Duty, you get on whatever, and you just say nigger, 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 niggers. So like you think that's acceptable because that's all you know. But then when you meet somebody like me in real life, and you, especially at that time in my life, I will break every bone in your body in order. That's how dark I was. I want y'all to understand that I will call out the organ that I'm going to stab and hit you there. That's how dark I got. And I got a little bit darker, but I'm not going to put that out here. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it was almost strange the way that you were treated. The main campus, University Park, has a lot of cleaning up to do. If you want to ever have me on that campus and speak about you highly, I need to see some dramatic changes that I know will not actually happen. There was a point where I was just so angry and I stopped giving a fuck. One of my biggest things I loved to do was just walk. Like I'd be walking with my friends, and they were like about to walk around, because we call them sorostitutes and the frat boys. Like they would all be like just taking up all the sidewalk like they ran something. But then me with my 6'2" black ass, all I would do is like, man, you ain't gonna do shit to me, and I want you to. I'm gonna walk right through the middle of y'all. All 10, 15 of y'all, I'm walking through the middle. Y'all gonna part the way from me. I was walking with my man's Alex, and he was like, yo, what the fuck? They just all dispersed. I'm like, yo, come on, just keep on walking. You know what I'm saying? Because there was always a piece of me that wanted one of them to put their hands on me. I wanted it to happen so bad. Once again, hurt people. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted the opportunity to just hurt somebody. I left my door unlocked. Junior and senior year, I left my door unlocked because I wanted to find somebody in my room. Give me a reason. You know what I'm saying? That's how dark I was with it, because I'm just surrounded by all this hatred, and that hatred infected me. One of the biggest things I took away was I learned what overt and covert racism both feel like. You know what I'm saying? It's like the overt one was like, you hear people like saying nigger, you have like two white people screaming, hey, good, peace out, my nigga. And like, once again, like at that point in my life, I'm like, are you black? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what makes, and like, but then they know they wrong when they bitch up when you come around the corner. Oh, did he hear that? Oh my God, is he gonna hurt me? Well, why are you saying things that would potentially cause harm to you? You know you're wrong with what you're saying, and yet you're still doing it anyway because you're surrounded by your own, so you think it's okay. Watch out, because one day you're gonna meet the wrong one. That's just what I'm gonna tell you. You know what I'm saying? But so like there was that example of that, and then the time where I had to draw my knife on somebody because two big ass dudes were about to jump me. Hey nigger, get off our sidewalk. I'm not the one. And I told y'all at that point in my life, I was carrying two knives, one larger knife, about 3 or 4 inch knife, one about 1 inch knife, for like the quick stabs. I had a police baton. I had a taser that looked like a phone, and 2 cans of soup. Not only if I was going to spend a bunch of time at my friend's house, but also, like I always say, tap the side of your head with a can of soup. That could do some damage. Anywho, so I had to defend myself there. But, before things got too out of hand, I practiced my restraint and I went about my business. But weirdly enough, even though that was something that haunted my nightmares for a while, it was more so the covert racism. What impacted me more was the fact that not only was I already feeling stupid because my grades did not reflect my level of intellect, It was the fact that I was the kid picked last when it came to projects, when it came to group work, right? You know, like, okay, partner up with everybody, blah, blah, blah. Everyone would click up, boom, 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 boom. And I'd just be sitting there like, she's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. This dude thought that organic material, okay, you know, in I studied soil science, so like, you know, he thought that organic material was the gray soil. No, that means that this soil is completely devoid of organic material. Dark black to brown soil is high in organic matter. Soil that has, like, you know, like every, like, once in a while, like in a clay soil profile, it's like when you see like little dots of almost rust. You know, rust is nothing but what is called in the soil science world redoxamorphic concentrations. Redox, aka like something was reduced oxygen or something like that. You know, like reduction in regards to losing an electron. Or is that gaining? Anyway, it's been a minute. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like going down, like I did learn something from school, but I would see here, I'm like, yo, I'm smarter than all of them. I could knock out this project for us in like a freaking hour, but okay, keep on working with these idiots. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I looked at it. But they never appreciated, no one ever like really knew how much I actually knew, because once again, my grades didn't reflect anything. I was too focused on my hatred, my anger. You know, I was like dealing with like I'd be sitting in a room and I'd just be like, who's gonna try to attack me? That was literally my thought. You know what I'm saying? No one even knows I exist 90% of the time, but that's just the mindset, that's the frequency that I was operating at. You know, because I let my environment dictate me instead of me dictating how I'm going to navigate in this environment. So nevertheless, man, I learned a lot of like tough lessons. And this is where we flip back into like the recovery side of things, where I take the lessons, I look at the good things about my college experience. I didn't go to college. Well, I went to college too, but like my lessons from college weren't how many girls can I screw tonight, how many Jaeger bombs can I knock back, how many beers can I drink before I black out, how many that wasn't it. I learned a bunch of adult lessons. Speaking of like being the kid picked last, I learned what networking is. This is why I've always had like a common sense understanding of networking. Don't get me wrong, I still want to do it my own way, and I do it the way that I see fit. I do it in the way that's necessary. But networking is pretty much the immature version of networking is cliques. You work with who you know. You will give the work to who you know. You will hire the people that you know before a complete stranger, right? So that's networking. If I had understood that principle back then, I would have been like, screw all these classes. I would have been developing relationships with the researchers, with the professors, with the administrators, the people that can set me up because they have the connections. But once again, I was living in a small world because I was only a child. But not only did I have the mind of a child, but I had a completely different path than everyone else. You see what I'm saying? One of the other things is I learned, as I've already discussed, I learned the dark side of women. Y'all think ass backwards about things. Y'all say stuff that might sound good, but your actions oftentimes are completely opposite. Now, I understand. What about you men? Okay, let's talk about them too. Men, some of y'all trifling. I guess gotta be real with y'all. You know, like you will sell like a nice girl the dream. Oh, I'm gonna date her. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be there for you, blah, blah, blah. You get some ass and you gone. Nah, man, that's a really fucked up way to get some sex from a chick. That's really fucked up. Like, nah, fall back and say, hey, yo, look, I'm just trying to fuck. What you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? At least things are out there and there's no beating around the bush. You know, don't sell somebody a dream and then like just yoink it away from them. That's fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? But then I can see where the ego stems from us. This is why like the semen retention practice is so good for me, because now I can go back and see, you know, experiences that I had in college where the biggest thing for to boost the ego of a young man is how much sex he has. And I always felt more confident. I always felt more powerful. Even in my lowest state, I still had a level of confidence to know that I can handle myself. But people felt like they were hot shit because of how many girls they could screw. I'm like, what does that mean at the end of the day, though? What does that mean, bro? Yeah, you screwed her, and you're still getting your ass beat in Super Smash Bros. Like, okay, cool, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get that type of stuff. The dudes that carry on that mentality outside of college, yeah, I'm fucking all these chicks and blah, 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 blah. That's cool, but none of them want to stay in your life consistently. So sure, you trick them into momentary sexual endeavors, but none of them want to stick around with you. You see what I'm saying? Once again, that can go deeper, but I want to keep on moving forward. One of the things I can honestly say that I am the most grateful for. I no longer look at this as a hindrance. I no longer allow my mental limitations to stop me in growing that were all stemmed from Penn State. I'm getting rid of this negative thought form now by sending it love, giving it appreciation, being thankful for my experience. Because, like I said, my time at Penn State was the most challenging experience of my life, where everyone was going to, have fun and party hard and all that type of stuff. I went to work, but I went to emotional, mental work. That's what made me so strong. Don't get me wrong, it broke me. But if I hadn't been broken, how could I refashion myself into the man that I'm becoming today? You see what I'm saying? You need adversity. You need challenge, because those are the things that help you adapt. Those are the things that make you grow. And that's what my 4 years at Penn State gave me. It showed me something. It gave me a little piece of me. It showed me my superpower. My superpower, there's two of us in here. There's Prince and there's Oliver. You know what I'm saying? Oliver lets me know that I can go there. Do I choose not to? Yes. I have no need to get blood on my hands when the universe is going to do anything. It's going to do something crazier to them than what I can do to you. The physical is just the lowest expression of life. So why would I inflict physical harm to you, even though I know that if I'm hurting you, I'm only hurting myself? That makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it showed me that if push came to shove, I'm going to shove harder. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just what I'm going to do. And I'm going to die defending what I feel the need to die for. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm with it. I'm willing to accept the consequences of my actions. And that's something that actually stemmed, that phrase I always say over and over. That actually, of course, stemmed from my parents, like teaching me, of course. But it really set seed in my mind, or set root in my mind when college, where I was like, yo, I'm about to stab this motherfucker. Like, I'm really about to, these two dudes want to walk up on me. But then that's when I said, but do you want to go to jail? Sure, you were defending yourself, but you're a black student in a PWI, predominantly white institution. That's not going to look good for you. You're going to get locked up for a long time. Reconsider. So that's why I say be willing to accept the consequences of your actions. At that moment, I was not willing to accept the consequences of my actions. Therefore, I changed my behavior. That's a very mature thing to do at such a young age, right? Like I said, my path was not everyone else's. My path was not for fun. My path was to learn. My path was to grow. My path was to mature. And ironically, even though I'm already an old soul anyway, I became a man a lot faster than I wanted to. I can't lie. There are little boy lessons that life said, you're going to skip those. You don't need those. Which is why, I feel like I'm set apart from everybody else. Not in like a superior type of way, like, you don't know what I've went through. I just gave y'all a whole rundown for the second time of what I went through. It was more so like, nah, I went through this and you haven't gone through it yet. Let me show you. Stop bitching about little obstacles and little hindrances and find a way around it. Find a way to remedy your ailments. Stop just focusing on the negative aspects of things. God, y'all some bitches. You know what I'm saying? But once again, that's just the energy I was on. And I'm still kind of on, but like I said, I use better language nowadays, but where necessary. It's very freeing, because this was the negative thought form. This was like the initial seed. College, Penn State was the initial seed that is still, not still, but I'm working on getting rid of, the aftermath, the little fruits of its labor. When you let negative thought form grow in your mind and your psyche, it will continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until you take it out by the root. And then everything else will just die off, and now your life can flow because you have less blockages in your world. But as I've learned in my own world, I am the 0 point of everything. Every emotion that I emit started off with me. Everything that came into my world started off with me, because what I know that what I want to manifest, what I want to bring in my world also wants me as well. And we'll talk about that in a different video. So everything that happens in your life happened because of your energy, based off of your path, based off of your trajectory that you're supposed to be on in life. And if you're getting too far off track, you need something drastic to get you back on. You see what I'm saying? But for me, I quote, went off the beaten path very early. That's why I was getting my ass beat mentally. That's why I was getting my ass beat by the spirit in the spiritual realms, because I was screwing up. I was falling. My vibration literally fell. I quite literally was a fallen angel. You feel me? I was a fallen god, but I didn't know who I was yet. So one of the things I'm the most thankful for is that I have no room for excuses anymore. I overcame the most challenging. I went into, I was a level 5 person. I like to use the video game analogy, but I was like the level 5, we'll just call it level 3 and 4 for the sake of the years of college. I was level 3 and 4 trying to take on the level 20 boss. And I tried it over and over and over and over and over until I got it, until I started to understand. I really clutched up in my senior year. My last semester, I took 26 credits. I was like, yo, I'm graduating this year because I was motivated by my opposition. I was motivated by my enemy. This is another baby moment, another seed that was planted, by me utilizing negative energy, opposition energy in order to propel me forward. My academic advisor told me that he thinks that's too many classes and he doesn't think that I can handle that. The fuck you mean I can't handle the shit? What do you mean I can't handle it? Yo, load me the fuck up. Actually, add on another class too, just in case. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I don't think this is a good idea. And at graduation, the same person that's supposed to be here to support my growth, support my education, be my advisor, to support me in my aspirations of what it is I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to graduate. So whether or not, if I fail now, I'm going to be back here another semester anyway. So why don't I just go for it, YOLO it? You know what I'm saying? This dude didn't have my back. I shit you not, that graduation, I crushed his hand when I shook it. I didn't want to shake his hand, but I crushed it. I was like, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's just the energy I was on. Because who are you to tell me that I can't do anything? And that's the energy that I will never forget. Proving somebody wrong. Doing things the way that I see fit, right? In all actuality, college was the true beginning of my spiritual journey, because there was one particular night that I was feeling especially low, just laying in my bed, staring at the ceiling, and I drifted off. I woke up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning one morning, whatever, and I woke up and I was like, oh man, another, and it's just in a flash, in an instant, I truly felt happy. It was weird. It was what? Why am I feeling happy right now? Light bulb moment. Boing. Light bulb moment. I'm depressed. Oh, okay. But then, of course, with me seeing the other side, and I went back to my world, it was just okay, I'm depressed. But at least I know now what's going on with me. I began to really break myself down because I was already starting to get into psychology and sociology. I was reading body language because I was learning how to protect myself from these rambunctious youths out here. Speaking of which, that is another thing that I'm able to release right now. There was a point where I truly did not like so-called white people. I did not like Caucasian people. From my experiences that I endured from these 4 years, that made me look at all white people like they were the devil. And some currently, there's black people that still hold that sentiment, okay? One of the things that I had this adult moment that I realized just recently, about a month or so ago, where I was like, wait a minute. My life now is still facing drawbacks. I'm still facing obstacles based off of something from years ago, from college. Wait a minute. When I'm in this dating world, right? Let me set it up like this. When I'm when we're in the dating world and you're talking to different girls and whatever, especially in real life and in dating apps. But let me talk about dating apps specifically. My range is usually 23 to 30 whenever I do use them, because I think they're a useful tool and they help me practice and do certain things. But nevertheless, it's my age range is 23 to 30, right? 23 is already very sketchy to me, because even now, 23, you look like a baby to me. But let me see if there's potential in you. Let me see if there's promise in you. Let me see if you're willing to get down with my program. All right, and then we go from there. But then a 30-year-old is they've been through the playful period. They're done with their whole phase. They hit 30. They're ready to settle down. But they know exactly what it is that they want. When I'm just scrolling through, looking at people's profiles, I can tell who's 30, and not by their face. I can tell who's 30 by basically the way they articulate their thoughts. The 30-year-old is taking, hopefully, more classy pictures. Hey, this is me. Hey, these are things that I like to do. This is what I'm looking for. Nice, right? But I can instantly point out that you are in the lower, the younger age range, aka the 23-year-olds, because y'all still love to stick your tongue out in your videos or in your pictures. Y'all like to do that shit. It's obvious. So when I use that same logic back onto my experience, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm letting my life, my current adult amazing life, be dictated by some 18 to 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 23, whatever. My life is being dictated by children right now. Wait, hold the fuck up. Nah, I ain't gonna let that rock no more. You know what I'm saying? I've grown out of that. I'm past that. I understand that that was just immaturity. You know, you think that you're an adult when you're in college, but you don't realize how cushioned, how buffered you are with your meal plans. You don't have to pay. Well, I mean, some of you still have to pay rent, you know. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you live, especially on campus and all that type of stuff, when mommy and daddy are still paying everything for you, it's like, yo, like, you're not doing anything. You're not an adult. You can still afford to get fucked up every night. You can still afford to smoke weed, you know, like out of your mind every night. You still have the luxury of playing video games, and the only thing that you have to worry about is going to class and filling in the right answers on a piece of paper. You are still being cradled. You know, and that's why I call it cradle to grave. I know it's a different connotation, but you know, the cradle to grave as in school into the I almost said the slave system, but the incarceration system, the jail prison system, or cradle to grave as in you think, and this is where like my biggest takeaway. Let me finish my thought. I'm no longer letting children dictate my adult life. Let me just put a period to that so I can move forward. These children, this experience from 18 to 21, these 18, 21-year-olds that think they're grown, they thought they were grown. You were still a child. You know how many bad decisions that you made when you were a kid that you look back on in pure embarrassment? So why would I let these people that make shitty decisions like that have any impact on my life now? I'm done with you. I release my hatred towards you now, right? But let's get a little bit philosophical with it. You know, it's like college itself is a lie. It is a scam. How much semen retention do they talk about in college? Gentlemen that watch my channel. How much manifestation do they talk about in college? Do they teach you about that? You know, even in some of your high-level physics, they don't even talk about positrons and stuff. They don't talk about time travel. It's all theoretical physics. Theory. Sure, you got a couple of tests, but you still don't know. And you are being indoctrinated. For those of you that think a PhD means something, it's like you're being taught what they think. Let me say that again. You are being taught what they think. This is something that I see, especially in my my protege, my partner on my job site that just graduated college. He's just regurgitating stuff that you hear in college world. He thinks that, like, because I remember he actually had criticisms of someone that had a different political stance than him. He said, oh, he's just regurgitating the same things. I'm like, by you pointing out that he's regurgitating the same things, you are operating at the opposite side, but you're not aware enough yet because you don't have real life experience yet in that regard. You'll get it, but I just stay out of it, but I just observe, you know? I mean, think about it. You're taught things that are in the curriculum. You're taught what they want you to know, but they don't tell you when you have a certain, like, for example, let's keep it in the college realm. Let me give a little bit of advice for those of you that are in college. I don't want to completely destroy your dreams while you're in it. But they don't tell you the importance of office hours. Yes, I do. They do. No. They don't tell you the importance of office hours because office hours are just a elementary version of the happy hour, right? If you are not utilizing your office hours, you are not utilizing the main resource. Why would you not get in good with the person that has the answers to the test that you have to take? It's not going to kill you to give 30 minutes of your time, like once a week, twice a week, 30 minutes to go hang out with your professor. Not hang out, but just go in there, ask a question. Or even if you don't have any questions, pick their brain about something, because that's going to set you apart from everybody in your class. But one of the things that I learned, though, is like, how the fuck can anyone learn in this environment? AKA, Penn State is a huge school. When you get to the main campus, you're in like your classes are literally in auditoriums. You know what I'm saying? With hundreds of people in that damn room. How the hell can you teach everyone like that? Unless you're just a badass teacher. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you can't. So you have to stand out from the crowd. You have to get a leg up. You have to be willing to do what other people around you aren't willing to do. You have to go make the extra effort, because that extra effort is what sets you apart from everyone else. And that professor is going to remember you. So let's just say, for example, you are doing math, like you're in calculus or something like that, and you're doing the problem, you're working everything out, but you made one small mistake. And usually this person will give partial credit and this and that, but if the teacher likes you enough, they know how much effort you put in, they'll be able to see what you did. But you messed up right there. But you only messed that up. I'm gonna give this to you. You see what I'm saying? That's what maintains your grade. If your friends, all they want to do is drink and smoke and play video games all damn day, wait a minute, how are you doing in your classes? Oh, you're failing. So why would I surround myself with failure? You know what I'm saying? Another thing that college taught me was being comfortable with being alone. Once again, I always resort back to the guy I'm working with now. It's like he can't be alone at all. If I leave him for more than 15 minutes, he's on the phone calling somebody on the site, say, hey, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. Don't get me wrong, it's networking in a different way. But once again, it's like that shows me that you can't be alone you can't be by yourself for an hour. He's made it clear that he hates going back home and it's quiet. He wants to do something. He needs to be around people. Once again, he's an extrovert. I understand that. That's where he gets his power from. But one of the things that I learned very early on, the power of being alone. Like I said, why would you want to surround yourself with a bunch of failures? You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to surround yourself with a bunch of failures? No, all you do is drink, smoke, play video games. One of my friends, I was so happy to have friends and people that I call brothers that I ignored this. I was focusing too much on the good, where my friend, every time I hung out with him, I was with the hood rats. I know I was in the room with some people that were selling drugs and had weapons on them. You know what I'm saying? But I know how to play it cool because I got my dad's blood. So I understand hood protocol without there being anything hood about me except for the DNA flowing through my blood. Shout out to my dad, shout out to Bobo, shout out to Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shout out to Uncle Rel. My uncle's side too, just being a man, powerful man in general. Shout out to Uncle Rel, shout out to Uncle French, shout out to Uncle Angelo. Rest in peace to all of y'all that aren't here no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the type of stuff that was very much planted. All college was 4 years of me planting seeds. And then the following 4 years, pretty much, the following 4 or 5 years was me pruning my hedges, getting rid of the rotten fruit, but then also realizing the good things that were there the entire time. But I was only focused on the rotten fruit. That's what growth is. That's what leaving things in the past is. I made a video about PTSD, where I consider it past traumatic stress disorder, AKA you keep going back to a negative time, and you're not going back to heal it. You're not going back to observe it. You're just going back to re-experience it over and over and over. And it maintains the same level of power as it had on you now that it did back then. But now I can go back in the past and be like, oh, that's what I missed. One of the things that bothered me was the Greek life. I didn't understand this. We'll start off low with it. Ladies, young ladies, I'm not here to I forgot the PC culture way to phrase it. But it's like, I'm not here to blame the victim, But young ladies, everyone that has children that are going to college here shortly, have a talk with your daughters. Specifically, yes, men are trifling when they drug you and get you drunk so they can have sex with you when you're out of your mind. But you need to prime your daughters. Do not accept drinks from someone you don't know. Do not get toe up. If you've never drank before, do not get fucked up around a whole bunch of horny ass little boys that will take advantage of that don't know limitations. There was a freestyle by King Los, LA Leakers freestyle by King Los. And he was talking about college, about how, especially at the black fraternities, they're pledging Greek. You're black, you're African American, you're Greek. What are you doing with these Greek letters on your back, on your chest? Why are you stamping yourself with Greek so-called letters? Now, if you want to go back into the etymology, you can understand that these symbols came from so-and-so, then I got you. You've proven me wrong. But if you're not even at that level of understanding yet, make it make sense to me, right? But bringing it back, it's like you need to have a conversation with this about this the sick ritualistic nature from King Los, this sick ritualistic nature that is going on in some of these legacy schools. In fraternity world, when they say, oh, I'm a legacy, they're passing on the traditions that were going on from the past. And the past was even worse, probably. It's just like the hazing process to get into these sororities and these fraternities don't make no damn sense. You do understand that the hazing, it's forming you as a brotherhood. It's bringing you together as a brotherhood. Maybe. Some of it's just blackmail. Y'all ever heard the elephant walk? Don't look it up. Some of you are going to look it up. But nevertheless, go look at all the hazing things that they be having people do. There was literally some kid that it was a show, but I know it was based off a real event where for the hazing process, they had to get these young, impressionable young men to eat Tide Pods. That was part of their initiation. You have to eat poison to be part of us? What in the death ritual is this? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, sorry, I'm getting off my point because I want to talk about young men as well. But young ladies, it's like, don't go to these places. Don't go get fucked up. Don't be wearing little skirts so you can see the bottom of your little ass cheeks hanging out, because you are tempting the horny ass men around you. And you're going to get fucked up out of your mind to the point that this man feels like he could take advantage of you? You weren't acting in your own best interest, sweetheart. I'm just being real with you. This is why I'm such a protector of people. Like, like the little, I have very few stories, but that's why I always resort back to them. But there was one time I was at a little kickback in my friend's place, and they were playing Pong and such, and we were knocking it out, blah, 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 blah. But then I noticed that there was 4 or 5 dudes all circling this one chick. And don't get me wrong, she was a more attractive woman in the room. But it was 5 dudes, and they were I can't do it because I'm sitting down. But they were literally standing with their pelvises almost being magnified towards her. I was like, why are all y'all standing like that? What in the bukkake is going on here? You know what I'm saying? It's but she could tell how uncomfortable she was feeling. Reading her body language, kind of just yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what I did was I pushed one dude to the left, pushed one dude to the right, grabbed her hand, said, hey, yo, you my new partner. And I played a game of Pong with her. She said, oh my God, thank you so much. And I was like, hey man, I saw that was kind of weird, but you can go after this. I just wanted to get you out of that situation. She was like, thank you so much. Say less. Even back then, even in my deepest levels of hate, I was still helping out people that needed it. You know what I'm saying? I was still helping people because that's just part of my DNA. That's what I'm here to do. But it's just ladies, be careful. Always have your location on. Always have a friend knowing where you're going. Y'all be telling people who you be messing with or who you hanging out for the night anyway. So, hey, I'm going over to Tyrone's. This is what happened. I'll text you, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? If she don't text you, she has the right to come looking for your ass. You know what I'm saying? Find you a male friend that you can trust that will beat anybody's ass, that will try to mess with you. Don't play with us now. This is my little bodyguard, my little savior, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. That's just what we're supposed to do as men. Men, hi, how you doing? Your turn. Young men out there especially, or any men that are still carrying on these weak-ass little boy mentality. If you have to get a girl drunk to have sex with her, you have no game. If you have to get a girl high in order to have sex with her, you have no game. If you have ever spoken out of your mouth, do you know who my father is? You're a pussy. Simple. You are a pussy because you can't handle your own. You need somebody else to handle your problems for you. Right? Do you know who my father is? Do you know who my father is? There will be so many bikes circling your house, you ain't gonna know what to do. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's your daddy's gonna sue me. My daddy's gonna roll up on you. You wanna play that fight with me? You don't even need to handle him. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you weak. You know what I'm saying? The victimhood mindset, it's this is conversations that I've had while I was in college. I couldn't participate because I was in a relationship, but nevertheless, I need to talk about that, but we'll get back to it. I've been in conversations where dudes be like, yo, this bitch keeps playing with me and blah, 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 blah. Man, this bitch, oh, this bitch, oh, this bitch, oh, this bitch, this bitch, this bitch. Yo, wait. You sound bitter, my guy. You sound hurt, my guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's these little things that just come up, and these little seeds that get planted. This bad habit that you're only condoning because you're around a whole bunch of ain't shit other dudes that are condoning said behavior, that you're just calling women bitches, calling women out of their name as a default. Who are you? Because once again, you are the source of all that hatred. So why are you expressing that only towards women? Oh, because you can't get none? Okay, I get it. And it's for those of you, let me strike a special chord with Penn State and a chord with some of you ain't shit little boys out here. Penn State, damn near every single weekend, you would get this mass text saying that there was a sexual assault on campus or there was a sexual assault reported. And those are just the ones that are reported, right? Every fucking weekend. Every weekend. Oh, there it is. Someone got raped. That was common. That was a common thing between amongst my friend group. Somebody else got raped. And what do they do with it? They send out a little email. We don't condone this. If you need help, if you hear the resources for you, I get it. You can't protect everybody, but what the fuck? All these parents are spending all this money to hope that especially that their daughters are going to be safe. Because I plan on having a daughter one day. This is why I take this so seriously. And we're sending, I ain't sending my kids to no college, but it's like, we're putting our kids in college and we think that they're going to be safe. They're going to be protected. They're going to be in a place that's here to foster learning and education. Yes, you're learning a very hard lesson. I get that, but that ain't what you're here to do. And y'all are not fulfilling your end of the bargain. I know you can't have people in houses. Things are going to happen. And with there being such a huge population size in general, that's just probabilities. I get it. It's a dark truth. But what are y'all doing, Penn State? What are you doing to remedy that? You just going to send out a little email? No, y'all don't really care. Oh, it happened. Send out the memo. That's the way it looked to me. You see what I'm saying? I don't have the solutions, but this is your entity. You've been up here. You've been standing for however many years. We are. No, because we are. No, I could finish that sentence with some other thing. We are rapists. We are racist. I could still go there with it. Let's not forget. I may have forgiven, but I don't forget. And just because I'm focusing more on the good things now doesn't mean that I'm not going to remind y'all the bullshit that y'all been doing. You know what I'm saying? So what are y'all going to do in regards to that? But fellas, if you feel the need to steal sex, to sexually assault a woman, you do realize what's going to happen to you, right? Especially in the times that we're in. Keep playing that game if you want to. Your life is about to go to shit very soon. But not even but I can't lie. I'm not about putting my hands on people, but let me find out. You know what I'm saying? That's the easiest way to get into the bad side of me. You did what? Okay. I'm going to catch you. Especially if you did it to someone I knew. Oh, I don't care. I'm willing to accept those consequences of those actions. I'm catching a body. Sorry. You did what to who? Oh, all right. 1 second. And then we in it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a reason why I have that dark side of me. There's a reason why I have that protector side of me. There's a reason why I have that side that's willing to sacrifice it all for what I truly believe in. I believe in protecting women. I believe in uplifting women. But whether it's male, female, whatever, I believe in treating people equally, doing nice things for people, being something good on this planet. And you want to come out here and do something as heinous as rape? Okay. You don't see that other side of me, and I feel like I have full permission to do what I gotta do to you. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just how I am. But anyway, see, I'm getting dark. You see, this is what the purpose of shadow work. But nevertheless, that's actually something else I do need to go back on though, or go back and talk about was my relationship. It set me up in a different way because it helped me appreciate my time with women. Right? I realized that there's the common theme in my life is when good things happen in my life, it comes in like bulks, like in care packages. It's like, boom, make this work into the next one. Sometimes I get a bunch of care packages. Sometimes it's just one every so often. But nevertheless, it's like I get like a concentrated dosage and then it disperses throughout my life. And then I get another one disperses and I'm just like, I'm growing and growing and growing and learning and learning and learning, becoming more and more of something else, becoming more and more of the higher version of the better version of the man that I want to be. Right? But one of the things I can truly say is I'm thankful for my relationship because, as we alluded to before, I was cheated on. While in college, I was cheated on. And she told me about it and blah, blah, blah. But, at that time, I was just like, hey, it's whatever, man. And it wasn't even like oh, we're going to do this. No, we're going to make it work. We're going to talk about this. But, I just don't care right now. I was so, burdened with everything else that this shit didn't even really matter. But it was something in the back of my head, when it came up to temptation. This is why semen retention is so easy with me. Sure, I wasn't practicing semen retention in college, but it's like to resist the temptation of having sex with some random woman because, I'm committed right now. I'm loyal right now. You know what I'm saying? So I can't break my word. She might be breaking hers, but two wrongs don't make a right. So once again, I was faced with that challenge. It wasn't necessarily Penn State, but it was during the same time period where it's all this ass, all these loose ass little girls that I could just snap my fingers, I could be up in it. I just chose to resist temptation. You know, there's a couple of times where I got really freaking close. Girl on your lap, girl laying over you in the bed. And I just be like, I think you should go. I think you should go. You should go. Please. Are you sure? No, but you should go. You know what I'm saying? So when I like use that seed that was planted in college, now it's so easy to resist temptation because now I see y'all for who you truly are. I saw it way back then, but for those of you that don't grow up since, like, you know, some of y'all still running around like little college girls and you've been graduated for like last 5 years, 6 years. It's like, oh, you're still in that mode. I now know what to ignore. I now know what to avoid. You know, like every woman, and this is like a little bit of a little rant session while we're on it, but it's like, I find it very interesting that when women after a breakup, they tend to like sugar daddies. That's just from a couple of women in my life. That might be a handful of women, but it just seems like sugar daddies become a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? More sought after in a woman's world after they have like a hard breakup or something like that. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a sugar daddy. Oh yeah, you were thinking about it, or you've already been talking to him. You see what I'm saying? Like women operate like a really big financial business, right? AKA, like if they tell you about it, that means they've already been doing it. Right? If in any big business, if they say that they are partner, they're forming like a merger or a partnership, that means that merger or that partnership happened months ago. But they had non-disclosure agreements until they could tell you, hey, we're partnered together. Oh my God, this is brand new news. The stocks are going to rise. No, if you do your research, you can see this type of stuff. If you start paying attention to the red flags, and this can be from men and women, but just once again, from a male perspective, from what I've observed, it's like once you start to pay attention to the flags, like the little warnings, the little cue cards, you be like, oh, you've already been doing things. You know, I cheated on you. I'm so sorry. Well, yeah, because you've been acting mad distance. Your actions have been speaking and telling me that already. I've known already. I just didn't want to admit it. You see what I'm saying? And for a long time, that did hurt me. That crushed me. You know, but at the same time, though, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thankful for everything. So I went on and on and on. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I studied soil science. That was my major, environmental resources management with a concentration in soil science. My reasoning for picking science after like changing majors like 8 times was because everything returns back to the soil. The rain, the water goes to the soil. Excavation, construction, soil. The house that you want to build has to be on some soil. Everything resorts back to the soil. So, okay, if everything goes back to that, I'm just going to study where everything comes from and everything returns to. The dirt, and I'm going to study it. You know, even to this day, I don't remember half of the words and terms that I used to know, but like I look at dirt and I see things differently. I can tell you where there was once a river. I can tell you where there was once a tree. I can tell you that this land mass, this area was formed by glacial till. I could tell you that this is an alluvial soil. I could tell you that this is a peat moss soil. I could tell you whatever just by looking at the dirt. Can I still not grow a plant? Not really. I do not have a green thumb. That's very funny, isn't it? But I didn't learn about like nutrition of plants in the soil a lot. I learned about the soil itself. That's my focus. And the reason why like plants form their roots is because they practice diffusion, aka or whatever. Anyway, it's like the little hairs on the roots are what do like a lot of chemical changes, if you will, that they extract things from the soil based off of like a word like affinity, like chemical affinity. They change it into something that they can utilize it as. They transmute it into something and they utilize it to grow a plant. How does that big ass tree over there and like all those trees back there all come from a tiny little seed? The sunlight and the information that's packed into that thumb drive, aka the disc, the seed. So the sun and the seed mixed together all in the soil, and that is the nutrients to create that. You see what I'm saying? So when you understand that, you have to plant, you have to till fertile soils for your property, for your land, for your farm, and all that type of stuff. There's a reason why some places can grow certain types of fruit. There's a reason why there's certain types of fruit that should not be in your local area. It was shipped there. That's not where it originally grown. That's why you probably shouldn't be eating it. But, we got to do what we got to do for now until nature takes back over. But with this understanding, this is where like one of my first initial thoughts, and I've shared this one before, but like we were like, don't get me wrong, we were smoking. So like, it was like, yeah, bro. But like, I was just like, yo, it's kind of interesting because we were watching like Neil deGrasse Tyson too. Like we were fucked up watching Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about some stuff. I think it was Neil deGrasse. It was some type of astrophysics stuff. And like, I was like, yo, some people learn by looking up at the stars. Weirdly enough, my whole major has me learning by looking down at the ground. And my dude was like, yo, that was deep. And I was like, damn, it kind of was. There was always sparks in it. And that's where like these opportunities, even though I had the worst time here, I still have stories. I still have lessons that I learned. Yeah, some people got the stories and the fun stuff, but that's why I'm so different. Like, I have a hard time like relating sometimes because my stories from college aren't stories. They're this. They're the lessons that I learned. Sure, there's a few stories I can sprinkle here and there, but there's lessons that I want to articulate myself. That's my biggest thing, my biggest reason for going to college, because of the lessons that I learned. And yes, I had to get a couple bruises, a couple bumps, a couple scrapes, a couple cuts. But what don't kill you makes you fucking stronger, bro. I shit you not. Just because I had a bad experience doesn't mean that you have to have a bad experience. But you have to understand that people all around you could be having completely different experiences than you. Some people can be smiling in your face, but they're sadder than anybody. They may be the life of the party. They may be, you know, making everybody laugh because they themselves don't have a reason to laugh, so they want to make somebody else laugh. People cope with stress differently. People adjust to stress differently. Some people don't adjust at all. Some people don't adapt at all. They get hit with a problem that looks like unsurmountable and they just give up, flail their hands and just, they're done. Not me. Not me. You know, I can honestly say now that I am extremely grateful for my opportunity, because it was almost like boot camp in the military where they like make you run, maggot, push us, push, you know, all that type of stuff. You know, they do all that type of stuff. That was my version of that. That's why I feel like I understand military tactics. All the studying that I did, like, it gave me an enemy. It gave me opposition. It gave me someone to fight against, to help me grow. If I got my ass beat by them, I'm going to learn, I'm going to recoup, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, and I'm going to come back. Ha ha, I beat that. Oh, you brought another trick out. Okay, cool. And now I need to go rinse and repeat. And every time I rinse and repeat and I come back, I come back stronger to chip away at this monster. I come back stronger. I'm observing you. Another gift that I learned from college, observation. I pay attention to everything. If you think I'm not paying attention, that's probably when I'm paying attention the most. If I look like I'm spacing off over here, I'm paying attention back here. That's just how I operate, because I lived in that world. This is why I understand why people in the hood are so on edge. This is why I understand why people that have PTSD, I understand it. I didn't have to go through gunshots to understand PTSD. I had to go through 4 years of mental warfare, essentially. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's much more things that I can overcome, or that I can speak about what I've overcome about the school, but I'm gonna just end this off here with this last little spiel. I've always been destined for greatness. And like I said in one of my videos, like with being chosen ones, you know, our rewards are greater than everybody else's, but so too are our punishments. With our rewards and our punishments being greater, that would mean that our challenges need to be greater. And I can honestly say that I've conquered the most challenging challenge to ever challenge. Challenges do be challenging, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've conquered the greatest challenge of my life thus far, right? In school, in elementary school, our mascot was a dragon. For those of you in the spiritual world, you understand that. My middle school was a lancer. My high school was a lion. But then life wanted me to really pay attention to something. My college mascot was a lion. Penn State made me a lion. And I don't mean like a lion, like, oh, we are the Nittany Lions. We are. You ain't never gonna hear me saying no we are shit. I'm sorry. We are. All right, have a good one. Like, that's just something, no, y'all are. That's something I said a lot in college. We are. Y'all are. Y'all are. I am not you. But I am a lion. Penn State did make me a lion. It just made me a different beast. I learned from my enemy. You know what I'm saying? I learned from them. I learned to see through the lies, because no job is guaranteed after this college experience that you're taught, oh, go to college and get a good job. They make it sound so simple until you realize that, wait a minute, if everyone has a college degree nowadays, how does that make me stand out? What's the point? I'm just walking a super expensive route to get successful. Half of y'all are getting useless ass degrees anyway. So why don't you just start you a YouTube channel? Go out there and do something different. I've learned so much outside of college. I barely remember college. I don't remember any classes I took. I remember little facts here and there that you can Google. College didn't teach me anything. It's the hidden hand that I paid attention to. Like when you're a kid and it's like, oh, what's behind my back? Well, you don't get to see what's behind my back. But that's all I was paying attention to. I wasn't paying attention to all the distractions, the work, the course load, and all that type of stuff. I mean, sure, it was a factor, but I was always trying to get behind and see what you were holding. And with me peeking around the corner, with me changing my perspective to get a better understanding of things, that is what changed my life. That's what got me started my spiritual journey, to see behind the veil. I'm trying to see the other side of life itself now. And I only can imagine what's going to be the next level, the next version of this. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you can sit here and keep on letting your past haunt you. And like every time you think about it, you have a panic attack, anxiety attack. There was a point in my life where every time I went on a college campus after that, I had a full-blown panic attack. There were so many graduations of family members that I pretty much missed because I was having a panic attack in the parking lot. You see what I'm saying? Because I had traumas that were being triggered every time I set foot on a campus. No more. I'm done with that. All the limitations that came with my dating life, all the limitations that came with love in my life, all the limitations that were spawned from me feeling like unintelligent, all the feelings of feeling like I have to be on edge, all the feelings and notions that I have to be on edge and have weapons on me. No more. And of course, that list can go on and on and on. And I've had this conversation with myself, but I feel like I've already gone on long enough. No more. I'm done with you. Thank you, actually. Thank you for everything. Do I want to repeat it? Fuck no. But I'm no longer going to look at this in a negative light. I'm going to be like, but this is what I learned from college. Am I going to be draped up and dripped out in Penn State gear? No. But with me going through it, I still have access to the alumni network. That's one thing they weren't lying about. This is why I got my most recent job, because the dude doing the hiring was a Penn State alumni. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't lying about one thing, and that's why I understood white people, aka I understood business. That seed was planted in me. Now I just understand things because I was operating at the elite level. Like I was observing the elites. I'm just like, oh, you don't know I'm watching you, but I'm watching you, and I'm learning, and all I'm doing is learning from you and putting it into my psyche. I didn't know what I was doing at that time, but that's exactly what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So, shadow work session complete. I feel light. I feel happy. I feel limitless, because that was probably my biggest thing that I had to come face to face with, and once again, there's certain other things I'm not sharing with y'all, but like I gave y'all what I talked about in my Black Kid White video, white school video, and I'm talking about how I've healed from it, I'm extremely thankful for what my parents did, the sacrifices they put me through, or that they went through to put me through school. I'm extremely grateful for that, but I still don't want to be like reminded with it. I still don't want to be plastered with it. I'll play the game. I'll keep a couple Penn State shirts. I'll keep some Penn State memorabilia, so if I ever go on campus, I can go back into ninja mode and just blend in and camouflage. But that's about it. I keep Penn State on my car in case I get pulled over or something like that. Oh, you went to Penn State? I might have a Penn State alumni cop. Who knows? Hey, play the game. This is my little reward for surviving the network. Understanding that there's always someone I can link up with. There's always someone on LinkedIn that I can go talk to. You know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, you went to Penn State and you work here. Hey, what's up? And we can just start there. But anyway, I'm very thankful for my opportunity. Penn State, my message directly to you. I am grateful for you. I am. But y'all got some shit y'all need to change. Y'all got some toxic ass shit that's going on in that school. And I know there's some stuff that I wasn't even aware that was going on, but me looking back, I could see what was going on. When you got your little frat boys, 5 frat boys stand up in the middle of a geology exam, they all stand up at the same time wearing their jackets, turning their papers, and they all leave at the same time, and they didn't all get zeros. I can almost guarantee you they all got A's on that test. And you think that's fair, though, for the people that don't have connections like that. Oh, you better get down. Okay, well, change the culture that's been going on at your school. You know, like, for example, hold on, I'm not done. I got to address a couple of things because I'm talking to Penn State directly. You know, y'all had that whole thing. Don't get me wrong. Y'all put the little t-shirts on, but what was it, like the dreadlocks and gold chains thing? That's your alumni network that's speaking like that. That's your legacy that's speaking like that. Are you going to be the what is it, the leaders of change out here? Are you going to be the ones that actually innovate, or are you going to let the past continue to dictate your future? I learned from my past with y'all, and I now see y'all as a very important resource. But it doesn't seem like you as an institution have learned this. Yes, I get the way that you've been doing things is your legacy is why that you can have all these campuses, why you can spread your little web across the entire state of Pennsylvania. I get it. I get that side of you. I get what you're focused on. You're focused on the money because college is nothing but a business. I'm paying all this extra money for some books that when I could just go on YouTube and watch this whole book for free. I am paying for a book where a teacher doesn't teach, but they want to push their book on their students. This is a business. With Penn State, you have a goddamn NFL stadium, and you think that all of my education, like I set in foot in that place one time. Why am I paying for that? I came here for an education, not for football. I know that's one of the big things about Penn State. That's what you market. I get it. But like, you know, stop. Stop marketing like you're so inclusive. You're not. You're not. I mean, yes, anyone can make a way for themselves, and that's something that I've learned. If you want to make your path, you got to go out there and get it yourself. It's not going to be given to you, and that's a lesson that I learned from you. However, you have to also remember that we're dealing with children. I know you made the curriculum. Half of y'all are old people that have been doing things a certain type of way. I get it. But at the same time, though, y'all got to adapt too. Y'all got to grow. And just being woke, you know, in y'all's definition of woke, it's like, you know, but where woke means that like there's 18,000 genders and there's 47 different sexual identifications, whatever. That's not what you need to do. You got to do more than that. You got to do more than that. I'm not saying kiss the ass of black people either. You know, if they didn't do what they were supposed to be doing, they didn't meet the qualifications, then you don't get admitted to this school. But I think y'all need to like try a little bit more to at least impress utilizing the resources at hand, more than just getting good grades, that networking, learning about like the structure of your school. Why was this built like this? Who can I speak to that knows why this was built here? Who was this named after? Let me go like, you know, like preach the history. I know you got the signs and shit all around the school, but who's reading those? I know you can't talk to us youth. I know we're very difficult, but y'all got to do something because weirdly enough, you are our guardians. And if this is how you plan on raising your children, now I see why the culture of your school is so fucked up. Because this is how you're raising them. You're having them believe that this is okay. Let's talk about the demographics about how, like, yes, it's a predominantly white institution, but that thing was like 90-something% white. It probably even more than that. I'm being conservative with that guess, so that estimate. It's like, you don't, like, as a black person, I didn't feel comfortable. And then I know in my own personal, I secluded myself, but somehow in my hall, you know I talk about not being inclusive and all that type of stuff, but I feel like we found the 1% of the 1% everywhere. I was friends with like a Iranian chick. You know, I was friends with a white guy. I was friends with a Panamanian dude. You know, I was friends with a dude from Indiana. I was friends with, you know, an Indian girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was friends with a Hispanic individual. You know, I knew a Mexican girl. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Dominican people. Like, I found my own, which is, yes, you have to find your own. But damn, if that wasn't luck of the draw for me, because that was not probabilities. The probabilities were against my favor for me to meet all these individuals. You know what I'm saying? But that's just life, I guess. Certain things you can't control, certain things that individuals' lives were always going to take over. I know y'all can't control everything, but y'all got to do better. You know, but once again, I do want to cap it off on a positive note. I am extremely grateful. And to be quite honest, I'm happy with the hardships that I was put through. I'm happy for it because it made me stronger than anybody else around me. It truly showed me that I can overcome anything. When I put all the faith in myself and what I truly do believe in, and I give 100% of my effort towards what my goal is, that's something I learned from y'all. It made me powerful, and it did make me a lion, just a different beast. Till the next one, peace.